Hello, I don't have a proper intro for this one, so we'll just get right into it. Earthrise Optimus Prime everyone. As you can see, I couldn't help myself from touching the figure with my hands, but I didn't went full on custom, so he's mostly stuck. Except the thighs, which look ugly, but I think you're adding another silver coat, cause this ain't it. What's not stuck is his gun. I don't like the iron blaster he comes with, so I designed and with the help of my dearest friend, 3D printed this ion cannon, which by the way you can find a link to in the description, as well as links to my other stuff, cause it's all free. I think my design fits the figure so much better, but this copy ended up being a test print, cause the 5mm part is too short and too far back, so the final version of the model has the fixes. But it's not a review of my gun, is it? And so, how is the figure? I like it, but it sure as hell has problems. The legs are way too long, while his torso is way too short, and he can't even reach his own matrix chamber. The first issue cannot be solved easily. The whole figure and the transformation scheme need a rework for that, but the shoulder joint situation is somewhat easily fixable. You just need to relocate the joint higher and further forward, cause it's not because his arms are too short. Oh no, they are decent on that front, and voila, he's basically perfect now. Basically. He still has the body wheels, but they are parts formable. Remember how I said in Earthrise Megatron review? Well, I'm okay with parts forming. There are a few instances where the application of such seems weird. This one isn't one of them. Yeah, I just straight up put the wheels in a box, and I'm perfectly fine with it. It's not trying to be anything, it's just a part of the figure taken off. It would be nice to be able to plug it in somewhere, but I don't really care that much. I mean, yeah, it leaves him with his bracket hanging on his ass, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me that much. For a little class, this guy sure is a Voyager. They tried crowbarring a trailer into the budget, but hey, some say it's bad and yet I could care less. It has the basic functionality, so I'm already pleased. But there is one more accessory I haven't discussed yet. It would be the fucking matrix of leadership. How cool is that? I heard some motherfuckers were crying about not having an engine axe, but like, it was only in one scene in G1, and it only had relevance in War for Cybertron. Well, Matrix is an artifact in most Transformers media, and it had more plot importance than an axe. You can also detach this little shield, as if Optimus really wants to compete in this scene with Megatron, and this little guy can come off and be used as an overhead cannon. Honestly, I could care less about all this stuff. I just leave these on the trailer. I mean, having the options are good, but I just don't wanna use it. Oh, and apparently it can somewhat fit 1/43 scale vehicles, especially if you unclip the spec. That's all he really comes with, if we ignore the piece of map, which will never be finished. And so, how is the articulation? I'd say very good. Yeah, he can't really do any fancy poses with his arms crossed, but deep knees and opening hands, fucking opening hands, open more options than you really think. Oh, and he indeed can do the full split. There's a little bump in the knee joint, so that's why no one else who I watched showed this perfect showcase of how stupidly long his legs are. Now, his paint applications are really fucking weak. The blue they use tends to scratch off too easily, and on my copy the left silver stripe on his arm is way too scratchable, and yet his right side is perfect. Like, what the fuck, where's consistency? Oh, and while I was writing the script, I've tested some paint applications, and fuck, he's more scratchable than I thought. Still no signs of fuck paint on his right arm though, but I'm not that bothered about his legs not being 100% blue. Makes him look more interesting. Oh, and apparently his legs tend to break, so be careful. I guess it's time for the transformation? I don't know. Some say it's too basic, some say it's great. I'm somewhere in the middle. Legs do indeed nothing, but it's okay. And his torso is not a one-step changer, but it's also not an MB44. I would say it's not a leader class transformation, but sadly I've never had a leader class figure before Siege came out, and my first taste of such size class was Siege Shockwave of them all, which is way less engineered than Optimus here, basically copying third-party masterpiece Shockwave in one place. But you know, I'm one of those peeps Dr. Lockdown hates, cause I don't value the journey from A to B, only focusing on A and B separately. And so how does the B in question do? Well, ends up from me if I don't say it's amazing. They've captured the essence of a G1 Optimus so perfectly, I'm literally speechless. Actually, no. I wanna address some community outcry and respond to it with my unwanted opinion. No. The visible feet aren't bad, they have been there since the dawn of time, and I treat them like an additional storage space. No. The gap in the back doesn't bother me. Cable tracks do have a similar opening, and if I was able to leave it Prime RID Prime's back, I certainly can live with this. No. The shin vents aren't horrible, they are an essential part of the design, which makes the bed only more interesting, albeit less accurate to the real world. No, the one-sided port doesn't bother me, just fucking ignore it. They won't change the mold if it shortens the budget, and please understand the budget. No. The gas canisters aren't awful, just a bit too small. And finally, yes, the fact they didn't even mold the doors does fucking suck. Now what the fuck is that? These parts really should have been red, and these wheels are too thin. But when you add the trailer, it does look scrumptious. They fit together so perfectly. Yeah, I know it's too short for the cab, but I close my ass on this one. And so this concludes my review. Do you recommend this figure despite all the criticism I have? Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially if you don't already have an Optimus in your collection. I think I'm putting way too many figures in the S tier. Thanks for watching and roll out!